Well, you know what I was thinking as you're talking? I mean, you've said Jesus almost as many times as Sean from Seether dropped the F bomb during our conversation.
Very funny.
And I just wonder if, you know how you said David Wilcox was pointing people toward the truth? I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes when you're talking, it's like, and even going through, cast my cares, and you're talking about the glory of God and all this kind of stuff. And I think, well, did you choose consciously to not point people toward truth, small or capital T, and try to point people toward following Jesus?
Did I choose that?
Yeah, is that
Yes. Am I intentional with that? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, I guess so, right, yeah. Yeah, because you're not taking the same path as David Wilcox.
No, no, I'm sure not. David Wilcox has a brilliant path, and what he's doing, I'm a fan. Um, I just have some pretty specific. I have a pretty specific commission. I don't say it's a calling because I get nervous of that word because I think it's overused, and we're only called, biblically to God, to Jesus, and then he does his other stuff. If you look at all the stories in the Bible, we're not called first to go do something else. It's like you're really called to him. So I'm so intentional about that because honestly, I look at the church, and I think the church is extremely asleep. I mean, you look at old Keith. Oh my gosh, how am I blanking on?
Keith Green?
Thank you, Keith Green lyric. It's like I think there's an awakening to the church to see Jesus, the movements of Jesus, not the movement of Christianity, not the movement of the church, but the movement of Jesus. Um, I mean, seriously, start looking in Christianity Today. Start looking in just different, I don't want to blast on that. Just look at different articles that are Christian articles and look how many times you see the name of Jesus. I mean, it's kind of bizarre. Like how often Jesus is left out of purpose statements of churches, and you could talk to all of them and they'd say, well, that's just, we're talking about God, or we're talking about, really? Okay. I know you're implying it, but I don't think he's actually the head of your church, of the church. You just start looking everywhere and you just don't see Jesus, because we don't need Jesus to be great American Christians. You don't need him. And I guess the difference for me and Wilcox is that I'm kind of actually aiming. I never wanted to be in Christian music. I always thought Christian music was terrible. In the not always, but
Yeah, I know what you mean.
you know what I mean. And he has his own. David Wilcox has his own bent and what he's supposed to do. I think for me, I'm actually, as I said before, a missionary to Christians. Because what if the church, the people, we were awakened to the revolution that Jesus has going? That's multiplication. Each of those people know 10 people. What if they were the church instead of something we do? Instead of our small group time, we go do a service project, which is wonderful, but it's a service project. We go and feed the homeless here and do this. All such great things. But what if our lives actually represented Jesus, not represented Christianity? And if we had people that fill our semi-full churches, pews, and our people actually saw themselves as part of the revolution of Jesus, dude, I get way too excited about what could happen, and it wouldn't be. I don't think it would be all of a sudden getting people into our club. I think actual life transformation would happen.